Hi. Oop. Oh well. It's gonna do what it's gonna do on this type of day. That is for sure. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you watch. And if you're watching live, thank you very much. Oh, I don't know if you can all feel it, but there's a shift. And the shift is happening very quickly as we are creeping up to this new moon. And this new moon, I do have workbooks on this new moon. I have where you can subscribe to a full moon and new moon monthly readings. So there's a subscription there. Or if you just want a moon reading, just DM me and I'll let you know the pricing on that. But I feel like sometimes being a one showman band in doing everything, even though I do get help occasionally from others, but um, it's a lot, trying to figure shit out and and especially when it comes to technology. Oh my goodness. Um, Technology wears me out as I pull my hair up. And working on it. Sometimes I can do it, snap, 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 no problems, Other times I will and it'll just drain me, right? The last few nights I have been sleeping. It feels like I've been sleeping heavy, but when I wake up, I'm exhausted. So I know that um I feel like I'm astro traveling, or I'm doing some traveling and collecting information and collecting um you know downloads of more information with along with whatever they're doing. I know there's something happening with CERN, and I know some people are like, "Oh, well, how would you know that?" It's a feeling. I know they've turned it off, but there's other things that they're doing with the kaleidoscope, and there's just some kind of, I don't know, there's some kind of shifting that's happening with this. Now, either they're trying to jump a timeline right now because of everything that's going on, and because of the threat. Well, it's not a threat, but the war and the economy and whatever they're doing. But I feel like whatever they're doing is just kind of making it worse, and it's not going to change the inevitable of what is going to be unfolding over the next several weeks, several months. So there is a lot. So I know there's a lot shifting, and I feel like there's also, this is not so much confusion, this is not about being lost, but I feel like also within all of this, there's a collapse of the false direction. And that can really lead you to feeling kind of like adrift in the energies and the vibrations of it. And we're moving to this Aries energy, this new moon, and it's at 27 degrees. It's at the very end of Aries, and it is dynamic. It's not like we're having a new moon beginning the Aries season. This is the end. This is the end of the Aries season before we go into that Taurus energy. And in the energies, or in the feelings, or the transmissions that I've been getting, and I want to walk through what I feel like actually is happening beneath the surface, is why illusion cannot create, and what that means to your life, right? The Mars Neptune ignition point, a dissolving false identity. So a lot of things are dissolving, and your true identity is always there within you. The truth of who you are is always there. But this sudden insight with patterns, with Mars and Uranus energy, the collective shifts and why systems feel unstable right now in the two pillars, the dissolution versus embodied um, truth. And it feels unclear. It feels unclear. I'm enjoying this energy much more. I was like, that. Oh, you got a lot of trines to your to Leo right now because of the Aries energy. So there's trines coming over, which does help you quite a bit with everything that is going on. So when you do have those trines, it does help. But there is things that feel unclear, unstable, or like your identity is shifting and you're not off. So we are in a reorganization of energy. And I feel like over the next 6 weeks, I mean, I have my May container that's going to be coming up, and we're completing the April container. So I have a container where this May one, I'm going to have it for 6 weeks and shifting it to being more of a bringing in that dragon energy. This is not surface work. This is a pageway into truth, power, and conscious creation. I feel um, a part of it, like starting it on with this new moon. It's an ignition. It's a takeoff, and I feel like there is this energy that's coming in that's getting us to really connect with the newness and the new energies that are coming in and integrating them. And as we integrate them and as we dissolve the old energies, the old ideas, that truth of who we are begins to really shine through. And I'm going to call it the diamond. It's kind of like, Aladdin, you're a diamond in the rough, right? And there's so much of this um this new activation. It's not a reactivation because we haven't gone through this energy before in our lifetime. So this isn't that it's something that is um old, like it's like, oh yeah, we've done this 10 years ago, we did this 20 years. Mm-mm. This is a whole new activation. It's something that is reconcentrating, constituting us in a forward action, right? And sloth, stupid autocorrect. But this is, you got to understand, like also with um, Sherry coming in, she's a Gemini, and you are at that tipping point of Uranus entering your sign. And when Uranus enters your sign full on, that's a whole new ball game. That's a whole new energetic field that's coming in, and things come really quick and real fast, right? So we're moving into this air and fire energy. And that's, um, this new moon is, I'm going to call it like the fire in the air. And this fire and air is an ignition. It is like, here we are. It is, that's why I feel like it's the dragon coming out, forming you into the diamond. That's the image I got. So this dragon energy coming through. And dragon energy, I feel, is very powerful. It is very something that is very dynamic, and it helps you to burn through, move through the obstacles or the stones that are in your way. It helps you to allow yourself to melt them down, molten matter, right? So bringing them, melting them down, because this is not, I feel like, a normal moment. This is not just Aries season. This is not just a Aries new moon coming. This is very much an ignition sequence where we're moving through a rare concentrated energy. It's going to be conjunct Chiron, so it's really going to release any burdens, any obstacles, stones. I keep on getting stones that are in your way. And it's building all this week. So this week is a real big buildup. Now you're going to find people might feel off, they might feel angry, they might feel, and they get hot-headed, and so they're going to go off. I feel like people are going to go off. And it's like sometimes if they're not grounded enough within themselves, they might they might just lose their shit. like crazy. And I feel like there's this soft fire, like an orangey type of color that's coming in. And the orange fire does not ask permission. It does not wait for readiness. It moves you. It reveals truth, and it reveals what it is that you need to be seen. So what's happening right now is that everything in our field is beginning to reorganize around a single instruction, and the single instruction is coming to that ultimate of who you are, and that's the truth. And when truth becomes the organizing principle, everything false cannot hold the structure anymore. So this is where this energy, or this diamond type of energy, comes in this field, because a diamond is clarity, precision, and it's sharp. And if you hold that alignment with your truth, it stabilizes, and it begins that allows you to be more grounded, to be able to direct what it is that you need to direct. But if you are not, you feel it and it cuts. And this is what we're seeing in the collective right now: the shadow, the distortion, the falseness. It's not hiding anymore. It's coming up in extreme waves. Like, there's so much exposure happening. And this is, people are things are being exposed, things are being seen, right? And sometimes, when the truth is really in your face and it's right there, a lot of people don't want to face it. And we've seen this, but this is 100 times, 1,000 times more intense than what we've ever been or seen before. And having that experience, the dragon energy is cool. Hugging a dragon, cool. Yeah, that's cool. So this is where, because we're being trained, we're being trained to live through this experience, and to look at what is true and what is not. Because the deeper truth is, illusion cannot create. It can mimic, it can distort. Only truth can create. So in this week we're in, it's like we're actually happening. It's actually happening energetically this week. And as we had yesterday with Mars meeting up with Neptune, this is an ignition point. This is action meets dissolution. So yes, you are being asked to move, but not from illusion, not from old identity, not from who you are. This is where anything not built on truth, it cannot move forward without you. It needs you, right? So you may be feeling strange energy, unclear, then clear, direction dissolving, then reforming. That's not confusion. This is the false architect collapsing. And today we have that Venus is sextiling over to Jupiter. Jupiter is in Cancer. Venus is in Taurus. So it's a very yummy type of feeling, right? And now the body comes in, and expansion doesn't come from force, it comes from safety. Being receptive to it. Your nervous system has to soften to receive what's already trying to grow. And as we go to Tuesday, with that Mercury at 29 degrees of Pisces, and it's going to sextile over to Uranus, this is lightning. Um, this is sudden insight, sudden knowing, not from the mind, from beyond the mind, beyond that, right? And the storms, that have been coming in and off, like, I feel, with the snow, sometimes there's snow, but there's been other storms. Like, I've other people have been saying the lightning storms that have been happening down in, like, California and other parts of the country and the world, is that the sky is lighting up, and the lightning is not so much going down, it's going across. And someone was mentioning, and was saying that's like, Uranus at 29 degrees in Taurus. It's that energy, it's that vibration going across, right? And it's not really touching the ground. And this is where there's a tearing of the false grids, there's a false system and a false reality. And every time you see either a politician, we're seeing, I mean, what's going on in Ireland, right? And Big Red, he came out with a post, sort of a warning to them, about not to, to hold the line, use discernment, not really trust the police because they will throw you under the bus. He didn't say that, but I'm just paraphrasing for him. But I feel like it's like you can't back down. This is where the energy is. You really can't back down. You have to start holding the line. And sometimes holding that line is going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to cause disruption, not only within yourselves, but in the world around you. But that disruption has to happen. Otherwise, the change, it's not going to happen. You're going to go back to the same old, right? This is holding those elective officials. They're elected officials that are supposed to be working for you. It's not that they get elected and then they can do whatever the fuck they want to, but that's what they've been doing. They've been doing whatever the hell they want to, whenever they want to. And this is where it's coming in and saying, no, 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 that's not what you can do. I mean, right now, elected officials can vote for a pay raise whenever they want. Like, oh, we want a pay raise, but who's paying the pay raise, right? It's our taxation money. It's like the kings of old, what they would do, they'd raise the taxes because they had a war to fight. They had, they had some kind of feast that they wanted to have, or they wanted to show off to the rest of the world. Stalin did that, and he starved his people. The Irish famine, they did that, and they starved the Irish out. Right? Here, eat the rotten potatoes. We'll send all the good food over to England. You know, this is where we're finding that people are like, no, we're not doing that. We're coming in, and they're gathering peacefully. But I feel peace can only go so far, and that's where the 15th, leading up to this um, new moon, is going to really put some intensification down there. And especially when the sun conjuncts Chiron, Mars sextiles Pluto, Mercury meets Neptune. This is a lot of truth, power, and perception all reorganizing at once. And now you have Mercury, Mars, Sun, Moon, Chiron, Aries in there. And there's a few other asteroids that I can't remember I know there's like at least 10 aspects. Those are just the 6 that are all going to be in Aries. And this is where the truth that's been avoided, um, can't be avoided anymore and becomes who you are. So this is, the wounds become identity. And when the wounds are being exposed, sometimes it can be very difficult for people to see the wounds. It can be very where, holy fuck, and that's where things can get out of hand. And that's where people are seeing, they're seeing the wounds. And because it's at these later degrees or early degrees, it's these world points that are getting a realization of, look at the wounds, look at what's going on, and it's very deep. And Pluto brings in more of that activation. And as it brings in more of that activation, it reveals more of the truth because it's in Aquarius. And Aquarius, it says, you got to start dealing with this shit. If you're not going to deal with this, if you're not going to do anything about it, then there's going to be consequences to those actions. And that's where within our own life, if you're not dealing with the truth, if you're not dealing with a lot of your own energy, of maybe why you feel the way you feel, you're not identifying your anger, you're not identifying, you're feeling less than, you're feeling where you are not being properly heard for whatever reason. So there's a lashing out, which causes people not to hear you even more. Maybe there's ways of learning how to deal with things in new ways and new perspectives. That's all coming out. That's all being revealed. And it is heavy. So Pluto says power, you know. Neptune says to elevate. And Aries says be it. If you want the power, you got to be the power. You want to be the elevated power, you got to be it. You can't pretend it, because pretending, faking till you make it is gone. This is truth. And when it goes into in Taurus, it's grounding that truth. It's grounding that perspective into your life. And this is where, especially with this new moon coming in, who are you now that the illusion is gone? This new moon does not care, you know, who you were. It only responds to the real now. It doesn't give a shit about anything else. And when we come into this energy, this, I'm going to call it this new gateway, you're choosing between them. I mean, you're not choosing between them. You're standing between them. So you're standing between these two gateways, these two pillars that are there. And with the illusions, with one, pillar is dissolution. So false identity is dissolving, programs are breaking. And this is where what remains becomes your foundation. The truth becomes movement, identity becomes clear. And this is the space of the high priestess. If in the tarot, the high priestess, she's between the two pillars. What's dissolving? What you are becoming. And she holds the Torah, so she holds truth in her hands. So there's truth there in her hands. There's knowledge behind her, because in some of the high priestess, there's pomegranate. The pomegranate seeds are symbols of truth or wisdom, coming into that wisdom. What is that seed of wisdom that you are instilling into your life? It is a lot. It's very psychological, but I feel we are at this turning point, of direction of where we are going. I'm going to do a new moon meditation on Friday evening at 7 p.m. Those who are not in my container, I'm opening it up to you. If you are wanting to join, it's $44. Is the exchange. But this is entering into something, I think, a lot more. I feel like if there's a lot riding on this, because there is also where there's many who are holding on to the old world, but the old world is not there. There's nothing there. But there's a lot of grappling that's going on right now. I don't know why I'm yelling. I'm gonna take some more coffee. There's a lot, going on right now. So just for today, take some time, ground yourself. Um, it is what it is. Just don't rush, don't panic, and don't force your clarity. Hold your space. The truth is going to reveal itself. And, is what you are becoming and what you are being asked to become. And I feel it's to listen careful, because this is not just astrology. This is the threshold. And for some of you are meant to walk through it. So if you're wanting to join me on Friday, definitely join me on Friday. Let me know, and I can send you the link. But yeah, this is a very, as I say, as of the 15th of April, and basically you were in it. Yeah, it's all guns blazing. So on that note, I'm going to send you off with so much love. Embrace the dragon, embrace the beauty, and know that, take some time. Listen, the truth is there for you. Have a blessed one, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.